Notice to the American public, you've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray by the media, President, Congress, talking about you got to vote to get rid of President Trump. That's not true. Here, as the 45th President of the United States, President Donald Trump is petitioned by me, Judge Miller, honor the Constitution's checks and balances, of which he did not do. That's breach oath of office, and this is the 14th Amendment. No person shall be president who, having previously taken oath to support the Constitution of the United States, shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same. But Congress may, by a vote of 2/3 of each house, remove such disability. That is the law. Now, here, I am Judge Miller, as I said, sent this to Donald Trump, as you see. Judge Miller, thank you, the office of Donald Trump. Before you take office, you must publicly acknowledge breaking oath of office, which I just showed you right there, refusing to honor the Constitution's checks and balances. Now, the Constitution's checks and balances, as you see right there, are an official order mandate that they be checked for corruption. This is how the integrity of the Constitution is upheld. Now, as I said, and at that time they owed me $6.75 billion. You see, that's from the office of Donald Trump, and that is me. Now, to conceal this from the public, the Constitution's checks and balances is an official order mandate that they be checked for corruption, and to let the public know they got to be checked for corruption. An official order mandate that they be checked for corruption, of which that's a guaranteed First Amendment right. So what? That's a criminal act. Section 242. As you see right there, Federal Judge Matthew Brookman denied the guaranteed. So if you deny that guarantee, makes it a crime for any person acting under color of law, that's the Federal Judge Matthew Brooks, to willfully deprive a person of a right or privilege protected by the Constitution and laws of the United States. That's the First Amendment. Everybody got that. Now, how they do that? Here's U.S. Attorney Jack Smith. He received this information, concealed it from the public, allowing President Donald Trump to illegally take office, as he did not get 2/3 of both the House and the Senate. And as I said, there you got it right there. They supposed to be the watchdogs. Supposed to be what they say, hold the powerful accountable. And you have not honored we the people. Here you got state of Indiana. Content requires Judge Robert Pickman to release me immediately as probable cause and null and void, or the Indiana Secretary of Treasury Daniel Elliott disperse $125 million owed for kidnapping, forcibly, secretly imprisoning another person without lawful authority with intent to interfere with what? The Constitution's checks and balances. They have to be checked for corruption, of which they will refuse to do. And that's usurping the Constitution, and that's illegal. And this is what they done. Now, to go even further, as I said, Donald Trump illegally took office, and the journalism supposed to be the watchdog, of which they did not do. So, you didn't let him sign in an executive order, whatever, however he signed it, for an invading army in the United States of America. Now we got to invade them, holding us hostage. I am empowered by the Constitution's checks and balances. And this, as I said, conspiracy against our rights. And that being said, the rights protected by the Constitution of the United States and laws. The guaranteed First Amendment, which is what I was just showed you I was denied. Now, he denied that, and what this says, the evils to be prevented were not merely just the media, but any action by the government by means of which it might prevent such free and general discussions of matters as seems absolutely essential. What I said, the checks and balances are an essential part of the Constitution, absolutely necessary to hold them accountable. So you see why they're not honoring the Constitution checks and balances, because they have went beyond the law. Now, as got to prepare the people for an intelligent exercise as their rights as citizens. That's what you're seeing right there. And they denied that guaranteed right, as I showed you. And they did. Federal Judge Matthew Brookman is still in the box. And you got everybody in the guaranteed right, First Amendment, guaranteed. And there you got it right here in the Constitution's checks and balances denied. That's the Criminal Act, violating rights under color of law. And it's the Constitution's checks and balances. An official order mandate government be checked for corruption. I said it. I have evidence of it. I am empowered to prove this before a candid world, and the media has not given coverage of the Constitution's checks and balances. An essential order mandate that they be checked for corruption. There you have it right there. Violating rights under color of law, that's a criminal act. And don't forget, Donald Trump knew this coming in. You see my name up there. You see what he's supposed to do. 2/3 and our $6.75 billion I'm immediately owed. Concept for corruption and the motive, money and power. There's a transfer of power to the citizen. Hello? And $6.75 billion, which is now preliminary injunction to pay $13.3 billion immediately. I'll be the richest black man in America. That's oppression. That's a criminal act. Time to hold them accountable. Because y'all keep talking, wake up every morning, what President Trump want to do now? White supremacy, communism, that's what that is. That's the difference between the First Amendment and communism. We get to speak, and they have not allowed me to speak. I need a national platform, and I need my money too. Thank you.